Hi guys, how are you? Okay, so we are going to continue working on hieroglyphics. And one of the things that I would like for you guys to do today is to use, I'm going to share this on Teams, the image. You have one, but I think this one's a little bit better. And it has, let's just go over it. So for an owl, it looks sort of like a falcon. A bee is like a hand extended. And they also have a foot. A C could be something, another shape. D is also a hand. So we're repeating some of the things. E is a feather. F looks sort of like a snail or a worm or something of that sort. And then G has a different shape. So the idea is that we're going to refer to this and we're going to write out our name. So I noticed that one of the students did that the other day, but we're also going to be doing a sentence, and it will be a very short sentence. So it might be the cat is black. And it'll be very, very short. So you would have to write it out. I'll explain. So let's first start off with our name. So my name is Miss Lena, and my name is Lena. So first thing that I'm going to do on my paper is that I'm going to write out my name, Lena L, and I'm spacing it out because I know that I am going to need to draw an image for each one, right? So it's Lina, right? So if I look at L, it looks like a sitting lion. Do you see that, guys? And if I look at an I, it's super easy. It's actually like two little sort of stick-looking things right there. Let's go to that N. The N is a little trickier. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but it's very doable. And A, that would be the most challenging. That is the bird. Okay, so I'm going to first start with the lion. So the lion is definitely a bit challenging, and it's okay. If we don't do it perfectly, it's not the biggest of deals. So I'm going to do sort of like a line, and I want to give myself space to do it. So I'm going to start off with the head over here. And again, looking at this, I have the ear right there. And then I have the mane. So some of you guys might actually have the lion sort of as one of your, and I'm going to go ahead and draw what I would do like cat eyes, and then the nose, right? And then just extend it, and it's sort of like, it looks almost like a sphinx, like the lion is like sitting down. It is a lion, so I'm going to do the front paws. Can you see that? Front paw here, front paw here, and going to the back. The other back paws is a little tricky. You just go a curve and then like this. And then the tail, there is a tail. It's different than I would draw a tail, but I'm trying to get as close as possible as what they have. So it's not perfect, but I think it's fine. Now the eye is so much easier. Let's take a closer look at what that eye looks like. And it just looks like two little sticks. So I'm gonna go ahead, go make sure you're doing the same direction as this, line, line, and for lead, and then a little stick right here. And that makes my eye. Now we have the end. The end is a little different, but I think that's super easy. I don't think that's hard. So it looks sort of, it reminds me of the shape of the Eiffel Tower. So I'm just going to go like this. I am going to extend this going over there. Sort of, to me, reminds me sort of like a broken leaf. So I'm going to just go ahead, do that curve, and then got it. And then I need that little twirly line over here. And I got that. So I have that. So far, so good. Now the next one is the trickier one. That is sort of looks like a falcon to me. Let me zoom that in so you can see it. That is definitely harder. But if I were to do this with a pencil and a paper, it would be super easy. It's just doing it on a whiteboard, standing up, that's a little trickier. So this is something you could do and take your time. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do my bird. I'm gonna move this over so you can focus on my bird. And obviously I have to do the little beak right there. I'm coloring it black, just like this. If we were to do this in pencil and paper, which is what you guys are doing, then I would definitely suggest that you do it with pencil first, lightly. If you make a mistake, that's okay. And then what I think is a great idea is to color it in. Okay, so now the legs sort of looks like this again. And I'm doing this other leg coming out in the front. doesn't have to be perfect. And then it has the leg and the claws, right? Okay, so good so far. It has sort of like some shading there, so I'm gonna go like that. Has shading also on the head, sort of this way. And then it has that wing. So when you're doing the wing, you're sort of making a curve. That's if you have that, extending it. And then you have to do that bottom wing, right? The bottom wing type of thing. So I'm going to make this part has shading like this. This one doesn't, it's kind of simple. And I think it turned out pretty good. So if you see my name, Lena, right? It has L, the lion, I, the sticks, N happens to look sort of like, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the Eiffel Tower. And then the A looks like a falcon. I think I did pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna actually write another word. And the reason I'm gonna write another word is because we definitely have more time. So if we were to write the word up, U and P, up, right? If we look at our hieroglyphic alphabet thing, we notice that the U is super easy. It's a curve. And I'm gonna send the image so you'll actually see more details, I think, and I suspect with the black and white, it doesn't really show all those little details, but I have a feeling that it has tiny little lines. Let's go look at that P. That P looks like a rug, right? Isn't that pretty? So I'm gonna do up. So let's show. So we have the U, and again, I'm going to erase this and separate it just so that I have space directly behind it. So when you're doing this assignment, you are spacing out the word just so that you can have space to then know under A is the bird, under N is this, under I is these sticks, under L is that. So we want to do the same thing. Up is this curvy line. It's super easy. I make a curve. And that's easy. There you go, right? See? Now P looks like a rug, right? It's a nice, pretty rug. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make a rug. It's just doing a rectangle standing up. This going like this. This going a little bit out like this. I guess that's the fringe. There is a pattern, which is a line across. So I would then color this a different color. So I could do that red. I could do that another color, but it should have, I'm just going like this so you could see the shading that is taking place. That is being shaded. I wish I could do closer because I have a feeling that there are some little like lines here, but I want to just go ahead and shade that in. Obviously, doing on a whiteboard marker is a little bit different. And so I would do the fringe here, the little lines, because I think that's what happens there. The middle doesn't look like it has lines, but it does look like it has that. This has some shading on it, so I'm going to go ahead and color that. Obviously, if I had color pencils, it would look much nicer. But I think this is pretty good. And you know what? This is fun. So there we go. I did the word up. Awesome. Okay, so the idea here is to space out the letters. Look at your little kind of sort of code, your legend code that's telling you the, you know, the R looks sort of like an I, right? And just kind of when you're, and the only one I would say is a bit tricky, to be honest, is that you have two birds for V and W. So if your name has a V and W, it's going to look a little strange, but that's okay. The M looks like sort of an owl, which is actually quite pretty. N is easy. Ooh, I found another N. That's very strange. I think I made a mistake. Ah, no, they have two N's. I could have easily done the zigzag one, which would have been much easier for me, but I chose to do this one, which I actually think is a little bit prettier. It looks like a, sort of like a broken leaf. A J is a snake. And so what I want you guys to do is take your time, space it out, make it as neat as possible. You just have to do your name. And I think what I will do is I will make you do one extra word. I'm thinking a sentence might be a little bit harder for you. So we'll do one extra word and you have to do it in these beautiful, interesting hieroglyphics. I can't wait to see your work. Have an awesome, awesome day. Bye, guys.